this is the begging bit. Like so many people, we have taken a big hit because of the COVID-19. So if you're so minded, you can go to Patreon, where we have a Patreon page. You can make a one-off donation. I think they have a strange way of doing it. You sign up for monthly donation, but when your first donation comes out, it's very easy to cancel. It actually genuinely isn't one of those sites that tries to trick you into staying with them. So if you can help us out, that's fantastic. If you can't, if you've had a tough time over this period, please don't worry about it. We're delighted. 10x9 is free. It will always be free. And the day that we can no longer do it for free is the day we probably stop doing it. So there you go. Okay, we have 4 more stories for you. This story, it was told once before at the Black Box, but it's Eliza MacCafferty. She did email in advance. She said, look, I've got this story. Would you be interested in hearing it again? It has one of the best opening lines I've ever heard from a story told to 10x9. So a big 10x9 virtual welcome, please, for Eliza MacCafferty.
This is the last photo taken of my family on holiday in France in 1988, before we lost my youngest brother, on the right there. We could all swim before we could walk, learning in William Street baths in Derry and at quiet desolate beaches in Donegal. We brought this preference for quiet beaches to France with us, which is where the story begins, because the beach in Granville is black with people, full of Parisians on their holidays. We aren't used to this, and after picking our way through the crowds of sunbathers and beach towels, we find a place to settle. As the beach is so busy, we decide that one of us will sit at our spot so it is easy to find after a swim. I decide to stay put first, so everyone dashes off to swim, no beach lounging for us. My parents have warned us of the strong undertow here, so we know to be extra careful. Lying on the beach, I can see the sunbathers are mostly mahogany tanned, topless ladies of an age, dripping with jewellery. I'm happy with my 13-year-old self, as I have cut a long skirt to make a mini skirt and think I'm gorgeous. After a while, when my parents and 2 of my brothers come back to the towels, we all ask, where is Patrick? We all reply that we thought he was with each other. We split up and start looking along the sea and among the sunbathers. There is a Mickey Mouse Club for kids that we check, looking in some dog kennel come Wendy houses, but we can't find him. We look again in the same places. We split up, taking turns, staying at the towels in case Patrick should find his way back. We extend our search to the grounds of a closed casino on a rocky outcrop on the south side of the beach. The place is empty. As you can see from the photo, there is a rocky cliff to the north side of the beach. So we stop our search at the foot of this and work back. I remember walking along the water's edge, looking but being afraid of what I might find. I can't remember at what point, but my parents decide to go to the police, and my father gives me some francs to get food for me and my brothers. I go to a bakery that I know on the main road behind the beach. As it is later in the day, there is no fresh produce left, so I choose a couple of chocolate bars that I love. I laugh at this now, as I didn't think to venture anywhere else, and I impose this like for the chocolate on my 2 younger brothers. What alarms me even more is that my memory of this has always been that Patrick is in the shop with me. Did I imagine his ghost with me, confuse a visit to the same place the day before, or are all of my memories just not to be trusted and should come with a warning? The more I think of it though, Patrick was like my shadow, always wanting to come with me no matter where I went, so this memory doesn't startle me now. When we are back together on the beach, we split into small search parties again, and my father and I start to search past the casino and through the old town, following a narrow path that has views over the bay. At this point, a helicopter appears over the beach and windows fly open on all the buildings that look out over the sea. Sunbathers and those indoors are spellbound by the sight. After a moment, the windows are all slammed shut, the noise and inconvenience to their holiday. Worryingly, the helicopter hovers over the shallows. I turn to look at my father, who has turned his back on the sight. We move on and search the cobbled narrow alleyways at the bottom of the tall sandstone houses, and I wonder how would we know if Patrick is up there with everyday noise of food being prepared and families gathering for tea. Back at the beach, I remember a topless lady near us, looking at us constantly, but not saying anything. My parents and two brothers, after all this, comment how we were visibly distressed, but no one stopped to help. Moreover, news bulletins are put on TV and radio to help look for a little red-haired boy of 5 in blue shorts and a blue t-shirt with Philadelphia and white letters on the front. The police get reports of sightings in the Old Town. Kindly, we wonder, do people mistake my other brother who has red hair and has been searching there? But really, the difference between 12 and 5 is unmistakable, and we all know that search campaigns get crown collars. Patrick was never there. We learn that the Coast Guard finds the blue t-shirt in the sea. At times I'm convinced Patrick is okay, but I don't dare utter this. The day is getting on and my parents take the car to search further afield for him. Patrick sees them from a car that he is in with 2 strangers passing in the opposite direction. At some point, maybe about 9, we go together to the police station as Patrick has been found. When we arrive, he is sitting on a plastic chair in an adult's t-shirt with a logo for Miami or Tenerife. It looks like a dress on him, covering his shorts and his sunburnt legs, dangling over the marbled floor. I remember a tiny flip-flop, a souvenir from some far-off country, lying on the floor beside him. Funny the details you do remember. All of us cry, overjoyed and relieved, thankful for the police having found him. Gerard Sorey, an undercover narcotic cop who looks and dresses like MacGyver, complete with earring and bad mullet, was off duty that day when he heard about the missing boy. He asked his 13-year-old daughter to come with him in the car so that her presence would put a lost child's mind at ease. Fortunately for us, Gerard drove to a beach 6 kilometres north of Granville to search, and who did he see walking along the water's edge but Patrick? Having been taught not to talk to strangers, when Gerard and Elaine approached him, he made a run for it, and comically a chase ensued in the sea. They brought him to the police station where we were reunited. Patrick told us after that he couldn't find our spot on the beach after swimming, so walked along the water's edge to the cliff on the north side of the beach that we had written off in our search as it was so rocky and steep. He incredibly climbed over, and while doing so, he got hot and took off his t-shirt and put it round his neck, but it fell off into the sea. He climbed down the far side of the cliff and kept walking along the water's edge, calling for his mommy and daddy, with bystanders ignoring his cries. Unbelievably, he walked 6 kilometres. After being reunited, we ate frites and drank juice in a cafe. The next day, my parents filled the boot of the car with bottles of brandy and booze from the Intermarché, and we distributed them to each of the emergency service teams who helped search for Patrick. I remember clearly the Coast Guards who were stationed the furthest away. This crew would perish a year later, looking for fishermen in trouble in a storm. We are eternally grateful to the narc cop with twinkling brown eyes and who is always joking and laughing for finding Patrick. As a sacrifice of Thanksgiving, my mother gave up alcohol for a year. My parents offered Gerard's 2 daughters to come and stay for English practice. We have been over and back to each other's homes, and we have got to know 4 generations of each other's families over the years. On one visit, a police cavalcade escorted us off the ferry to the bemusement of the rest of the passengers, but that is another story.
Oh, Eliza, that's a fantastic story. Of course, he ran away when the policeman came up to him. He's from Derry.
Yeah.
That's what we do.
Yeah.
For those who are not familiar, Derry is a place apart. It's about 70 miles from Belfast, but it's a world away from this place. So, Eliza, does your brother know you tell that story?
Yeah, he does. Yeah. I got his permission.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. What about that policeman? Is he still alive or?
Yeah. He was mayor for Granville for a while. If you Google him, you can see him. He still looks like MacGyver. Yeah.